So in this video, we're going to talk about how to be spiritually fulfilled inside, but simultaneously being able to function in this physical world at an optimal level, and how to achieve the balance of both. Maybe you find yourself currently in a state of where you are spiritually fulfilled, but maybe materially you are suffering. And maybe you're on the opposite end of the spectrum where you are prosperous, but at the same time, you feel like there's something missing. We're definitely going to take this one step at a time today. We're currently at the public gardens. As you can see here, there's people enjoying themselves. Man, it's a beautiful day over here, and I thought, let me just come out and let me crack into a video in a little bit more of a lighter scenery. And we're going to be doing this on a much more regular basis, so you can watch out for content just like that. If you like content just like that, this in different environments, please let me know. My glasses can't even see the camera. Okay, I can see the camera over there. You good there? Okay, cool. So let's crack into this. So the first section I want us to focus on right now is you being spiritually fulfilled, but lacking the material necessities. My grandma used to always say, I think it's my grandma or my aunt used to say, an Afrikaans say, Jay's, or in English she said, you are spiritually wealthy, but earthly broke. It's almost like we are, we are so good at praying for someone. We are so good at keeping someone in our prayers, at listening to them and talking to them. But our own lives is in shambles. It's almost like a carpenter. He goes and fixes everyone else's home, but simultaneously his home is in disarray. And in this video, I really want to crack into this deeper, because my desire is that we might have the best of both worlds. And I promise you, you can. You can have the best of both worlds, and I'll definitely show you how. So you are spiritually fulfilled. Everything is just working really well in terms of your spiritual life. You are connected. You can pray in tongues. You can cry on demand. You can start your own Netflix channel on demand. Give me $5 a month. That is you maybe right now, where spiritually you are fulfilled. But when it comes to your health, it's suffering. There's an ambulance that needs to come maybe and get you. In terms of your finances, it's month to month to month. And it's almost like you are in this perpetual downward spiral of you're trying to claw your way out by praying, by fasting, by getting more in touch with your spirituality. But it's almost like nothing seems to happen around you. You are still stuck. Somebody's in need of that ambulance over there. Yeah, it's quite a hot day today. We'll just let that go by. What a beautiful day today, man. It's the end of summer here in Halifax. Man, die Kapen is lekker warm, né? As amper warm nou daar. As amper. Okay, let's continue. And you find yourself physically and financially, you find yourself in a space where you're trying to claw your way out of this. Maybe this is you right now. I want you to stick on this video. If this is you, I've got a couple of things to share with you. A couple of things to share with you right now. These cute kids are always walking by and waving. You know, it's cute. I'm a sucker for cute kids. I used to be yeah, man, adorable, eh?
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man. Hello. Come say hi. Come say hi. I used to be a Sunday school teacher, and man, with the small kids. Come say hello for everyone there. Say hello for everyone.
Say hi.
Have a good one, eh?
You too.
Yeah, man. So let's get back on track. So now you find yourself that there's a discrepancy between the two. Or you find yourself on the other hand, where financially you are sorted. You can pay your month's rent over and over and over again, years in advance maybe. Maybe everyone looks at you for financial help. But at the same time, spiritually, you feel like there's something missing. You've got everything, but there's something that you can't put your finger on it. Is this you right now? If this is you, I want you to stick with me on this one, because we're really going to unfold this one layer at a time. So, let's go into a couple of reasons why this is happening on both sides. Why it's happening on the side of someone that's very spiritual, and on the other side of someone that is very, very wealthy and very prosperous in the physical. Let's make sure we're in focus. Now, couple of reasons why this is happening. One of the major reasons why this is happening is because of social conditioning. What you've been socially programmed to believe. So, for example, myself, when I was back in South Africa, my dad's a pastor, right? So every Sunday we go to church. In the week we go to Bible study. In the week we go to band practice. We go to youth service. So our entire life is revolving around church. And that was a major blessing. Just on a side note, if that wasn't the case for myself, I don't think I would be where I am right now. We lived in a community where it's very gang infested, very drug infested, and I'm so thankful that my folks and the people around me has steered me in the right direction. And if you're watching this right now, I want to say thank you. This video is dedicated, part of this video is dedicated towards you for just saying, hey, go into the right path. It's so important to have those right individuals in your circle. Hi, sir.
How you doing, sir?
Very
If
well.
you're going to be here prolonged, you should be in the family lawn area.
Oh, I
We
see.
don't want people standing on the lawn. for too
I
long.
didn't
Unless you
know
have a
that.
purpose.
Yeah, not to worry.
So the family lawn area is just straight down there. You'll see the signs towards, right there on this path all the way down.
Okay.
You'll see the benches in the family lawn area.
Family lawn?
Yeah, the
Okay.
whole strip in the back.
Awesome stuff. Hi there. So this is actually a better background. Change of scenery, it's always good. Switch things up a bit. So speaking about myself being in and growing up in the church, right? And how being in the church has really impacted my life. So a major salute to y'all over there. Now I'm sharing this with you because social conditioning, which was part of the church environment and part of the community environment too, was very much a case of where most of my childhood has been giving back. For example, being in youth group, being part of the leadership team there, being in the worship team, leading a team, working in the community, soup kitchens, giving out bread. Brother Daniels, rest in peace, shout out to you. With him giving bread to the community, and with my dad too. And it was a matter of, I think it was really subconsciously, it programmed my mind to think and have the ideology, the idea, the ideology that giving back is so important, to the point of where receiving felt a little foreign, to be frank with you. It felt a little foreign because whenever it happened, it almost felt to me like, I need to be giving, I need to be giving, and me receiving now it felt very different. And growing up, and maybe you find yourself in a similar position where you grew up the same way, or you're currently in the same space right now, and you're growing up thinking that receiving as opposed to giving is a bit better than giving. I want to encourage you to have a different perspective right now, and I'm going to share the perspective with you. Either extreme is not good. Giving too much or receiving too much is not good. The middle ground is always a case where it's better. The middle ground. So wherever you find yourself right now, whether it's more leaning towards the giving or more leaning towards the receiving, I just want you to pay attention to that. So that's one of the reasons why many a times we find ourselves in a case of where we are more spiritual than than carnal. Let's put it that way, carnal. One thing I've noticed was when in the church, there were individuals in the church that was prospering, right? You would see them pull up with fancy cars, and especially I'm talking about people in mega churches. Now, this can get very political, and it's a very complex topic. However, we're just brushing over this right now. And when I look at individuals in mega churches, for example, and see them pull up with fancy cars, there would be kind of like question marks as to this shouldn't be happening. But then again, I question myself: is that the right mentality to have, or have we been socially conditioned to believe that if you are spiritual, you should always be broke? You should be like a Gandhi with rolling out with your sheets and your loincloths and walking. Make sure that loincloth covers everything. And that again needs to be questioned, right? So social conditioning is a major reason why many times we find ourselves in either situation, either too spiritual or either too carnal. Now let's talk about it. Let's go into detail. Now let's get to the brass tacks of things. I want to give us some practical steps in order to get out of either or. So let's take spirituality. If you find yourself very, very, you know what, when there are bees, you can't be strong for the camera and suffer internally, So let's talk about it. If you are quote unquote too spiritual right now, and other areas of your life is suffering, I need you to have these couple of steps. So number one, I need you to become aware. Everything in life starts with becoming aware of your situation. They talk about this in therapy, they talk about this in AA. So now that we are aware, Randall, what's the next step? So if you are too spiritual, that's number one, become aware. Number two, I need you to, apart from being aware, I need you to really specifically write down the areas of your life that is suffering. Okay? So number one, become aware of, okay, this is a problem. Let's just backtrack a little. Becoming aware of it is a problem is a major key, because many of us are living in a delusion thinking that this is not a problem. And when you think something is not a problem, you're not going to have the oomph, you're not going to have the ambition to solve it. So, hey, become aware. All right? Become aware. And number two, write down the areas of your life that you need to improve on. They say what you write down, you retain. So, for example, if you are too spiritual right now and you're currently lacking in finances, I need you to write down finances. If you are currently lacking in your health, I need you to write down in your health. But not just write down, I want you to become really specific. You see, ambiguity is the number one reason why we don't focus, or rather we don't go after and achieve our goals, because things are too vague. Things are just too vague. You can't just be saying, hey, I want to get healthy, but what do you mean by healthy? You need to be specific. You need to say, hey, I want to get to a body fat percentage of 20 to 15% to 13%. I need to eat healthy. What does that mean? That's way too vague. You need to become more specific. Well, it means I need to make sure that I get 2,500 calories a day. Huh? I need to make sure that my macronutrients and my micronutrients is on point. My fats, my carbs, my proteins. You need to get very specific. So number one, become aware. Number two, become very specific on the goals that you want to achieve. And number three, I need you to have, and this is a big deal because this has helped me tremendously, you need to have an accountability partner to keep you accountable for the goals that you've just written down. You see, the moment you don't have that is the moment you almost slip back into your old habits. And having an accountability partner really makes you serious. It says, hey, I'm serious about this. And I don't want your accountability, and this might be controversial, I don't want your accountability partner to be your wife. I don't want it to be your friends. I don't want it to be your kids. I need it to be a third party individual that doesn't have any bias towards you. That that won't give you a break when you can kind of know how to twist their arm. Another reason why your partner or your friends shouldn't be your accountability partner, because you are blurring lines. Now all of a sudden your wife is, or your partner is your accountability partner, and then they have to switch over to being your wife, and then it's this back and forth. There's a confusion of roles. Hence why your friends are your friends, you joke with them. Your business partner is your business partner. Your romantic partner is your romantic partner, right? So A, awareness. S, be specific with your goals. And A, have an accountability partner that's non-bias, right? So if you want to put it in ASA or just put AAS, you get what I mean. So that's if you are very much on the spiritual aspect, right? The same applies towards you if you are currently very, if you are very carnal, if you've got all your heart's desires right now, and you are really prospering financially, I need you to take the same approach. A, become aware that this is a problem. Become aware it is a problem. Number two, be specific on what you'd like to have and what you'd like to experience spiritually, right? And how you're going to do that. So, for example, a couple of tools for you right now. If you're lacking in that spiritual aspect, number one, meditation is a major staple in anyone's. If you are serious about your spirituality, meditation has to be a staple core in your diet, spiritual diet. And I tell you why. Look, you and I both know meditation is very big on breathing. And the reason why it's big on breathing is when you breathe shallow. Let's take a look at this now. When I can come nice and close. Let's come closer. When you breathe shallow, this is a signal to your body. This is a signal to your brain that you are under threat. Then what happens is your brain goes into a fight, flight, or freeze mode. And you know that mode of fight, flight, and freeze when you are feeling very anxious, your body tenses up, your heart pounds, your body prepares yourself for a major emergency. That's breathing shallow. How many of us actually breathes deep on a regular basis? Right? Very few. Unless somebody tells us to, unless our alarm says, hey, it's time to meditate. When we breathe deeply, the opposite occurs. It sends our brain and our body a signal to say, hey, we are in a relaxed environment. Just breathe with me for a second. And we're going to do the 4-box breathing. It's been a proven technique that has been used in therapy for ages. Box breathing, it's 4 seconds breathing in, 4 seconds holding, 4 seconds breathing out, and 4 seconds at rest. Let's do that for a second. For 4 seconds. Let's go. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Rest for 4 seconds. That's how box breathing is. And when you do this, it sends your brain, your body, a signal to say, everything is kosher. Everything is at peace. You and I both know that you can feel a major distinction between when you are feeling distressed and when you are feeling at peace. So let's take this right now. I'm here at the public gardens. There's people walking by me right now, in the front, in the back, on the side, everywhere. People are watching right now. I have one of two options. Of course, I can feel either anxious, nervous, or I can feel relaxed. The number one way of me feeling relaxed is by breathing deeply. And this is something you can do as well, right? So this is reflecting back to the point of when you are wanting to hone more of the spiritual side and be specific with your goals, make meditation a staple in your spiritual goals. A part of the spiritual goals, and this might seem very physical, but and it's not just because I'm someone that's very into physical activity. When you are in physical activity, I believe it is spiritual therapy for your body. Now, this might sound woo woo, but check this out for a moment. When you stretch compared to when you don't stretch your body, it's almost a case of where it's almost like you are in a contractive state. Like, when was the last time, and just think about this for a second, when was the last time you've stretched your entire body? One way of stretching your entire body is just finding a pole, grabbing onto it, and just dead hang. They call it a dead hang. Just hanging down. That's a full body stretch right there. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because when you never stretch, it's like energy is being blocked. And I may lose some people right now, but that's okay. Yeah, I know you will come around. When you don't stretch, when you don't stretch your legs, when you don't open up your chest cavity, it's almost like you are in such a contracted state where your breathing is shallow, your muscles is all tense, everything is just in a contracted state. How can you be spiritually on a high if your body is contracted? You see, it's mind, body, soul, everything is interconnected. You can't tell me that you are the most happiest person in the world, but you're laying on a sick bed. You know what I mean? So it's all interconnected. So let's wrap this up. We spoke about today the importance of having both areas, major areas of one's life, really intertwined and really focused on. We spoke about there are disadvantages and added advantages being too spiritual, being too carnal, and how the importance of amalgamating the two is vital to you living a practical heaven here on earth. My encouragement to you is, as we wrap this up, is that you might, number one, be aware of your current situation right now. What is currently the state that you are in? Are you too spiritual? Are you too fleshly, too carnal? As we spoke today, doesn't matter where you are too much. There's time, and you watching this video gives me hope and should give you hope that you can amalgamate the two and kind of say, hey, I'm going to beef up this area, or hey, I'm going to beef up that area, so that you can live a well-rounded, balanced life. This is my desire for you. I always believe, and I'll say this on every video, you can have it all. I can have it all, so can you. We can have our health, wealth, our relationships, and a solid spiritual connection. But hey, we're going to wrap this up. We're going to head through to the gym right now. But hey, remember, we're not here just to survive. We are here to thrive. And I catch you on the next one. Until next time, peace.